Hello, Sydney here, and in my hand I have a paperclip. This ordinary paperclip is made of metal, and just like any paperclip, it's great at holding papers together. But what happens if I bend it until it's straight? Could this paperclip still hold a stack of papers together? Probably not. What else could it be used for? A straight paperclip could press a tiny reset button on a device, it could poke through a small opening, or it could help unclog something small. Even though this paperclip is still made of the same material, changing the shape gave it a totally different function. This idea shows up everywhere in biology, but especially with an important macromolecule, proteins. In this lesson, we'll explore how proteins are built from amino acids, the 4 levels of protein structure, and why a protein shape determines its function. Ready? Let's get to work. Proteins are one of the 4 major types of macromolecules found in living organisms, and they do most of the cell's work. Remember, macromolecules are big molecules made by linking together smaller pieces, like building blocks making a big tower. For proteins, those building blocks are called amino acids. When different amino acids link together, they form long chains called polypeptides. Once a polypeptide folds into a 3D shape, it becomes a protein, which can do important work in the cell. Do you remember how cells know which protein workers to build? The instructions for building these protein workers are found in DNA. A gene is a section of DNA that codes for a specific protein. Each gene tells the cells which amino acids to assemble in a polypeptide chain in order to build different types of protein workers. In eukaryotic organisms like humans, body cells contain all of the DNA the body could ever need, but different cells read different genes, depending on the types of proteins needed for that cell's job. Scientists have identified 20 different amino acids used to build proteins in all living things, but there are thousands of different proteins in living organisms. If there are only 20 different amino acids, how can they be used to build so many different types of cellular workers? Pause the video here and record your ideas. Different combinations of these 20 building blocks can create many different proteins. The order, combination, and number of amino acids in a polypeptide chain determine which protein will be made. This is why the order of nitrogen bases in DNA is so important. Changing the order of these instructions could change the order of amino acids in a polypeptide chain, leading to totally different protein workers. Let's take a closer look at the kinds of work proteins can do. Proteins are often called the workers of the cell because they carry out so many important tasks. Some proteins act as enzymes, speeding up chemical reactions. Some provide structure, like keratin and hair. And others are found in the cell membrane, acting as channels or receptors that help cells communicate. These are just a couple of examples, but there are countless more. Without proteins, cells couldn't do all of the jobs that are essential for life. In fact, nearly every process in your body depends on proteins. Take a look at these 2 proteins found in the human body. One carries oxygen in your blood, the other one forms strong connective tissue. So which do you think is which? The one on the left is hemoglobin, a protein found in red blood cells that helps transport oxygen from the lungs to other tissues. The one on the right is collagen, the most abundant protein in your body. It provides strength and elasticity for tendons, muscles, ligaments, and bones. Though these are both made from the same amino acid building blocks, they have totally different structures. Why do you think these proteins have such different shapes? Pause the video here to record your thoughts. They work very differently, so they need different structures to support these very different functions. Just like with the paperclip, even though the material is the same, changing the shape changes what it can do. Hemoglobin transports oxygen, so it needs to have space to carry oxygen molecules. Collagen forms strong connective tissue that provides the strength and elasticity needed for movement, so it needs to be tightly packed into springy bundles that can withstand pressure. DNA instructions tell the cell the right order of amino acids to put together to build a polypeptide chain. But proteins aren't straight, long chains. They're complex 3D shapes. So how do we get from a polypeptide chain to a 3D protein? Once amino acids are connected in the correct order, the cell has a long chain called a polypeptide. But this chain doesn't stay straight forever. In order to become a functional protein, it begins to fold into a complex three-dimensional shape. Just like we saw with the paperclip, changing shape changes what the protein can do. Proteins have to fold into the right shape to perform their job. Scientists describe this folding process using 4 levels of protein structure. In this lesson, we won't get into the details of exactly how this complex process works. Instead, we'll focus on what the levels are. The good news, we've already covered the first level, or the primary structure. The primary structure is the sequence of amino acids in the polypeptide chain. This order is determined directly by the genetic instructions in DNA. The secondary structure forms when the chain begins to fold into simple, repeating patterns. The most common patterns are the alpha helix pattern, a spiral shape, or beta-pleated sheets that look like an accordion-folded strip of paper. The tertiary, or third level of protein structure, occurs when bonds between the different groups in the amino acid cause the pattern chain to fold into a unique, complex 3D shape. This final 3D shape is what allows the protein to perform its specific function. Some proteins are completely functional at the tertiary level of structure, but some proteins actually contain multiple folded polypeptide chains working together. When multiple folded protein shapes combine into one molecule, they form the quaternary, or fourth level of structure. Each level of structure depends on the chemical properties of the amino acids in the chain, but scientists have found that certain conditions can cause denaturation, when changes to genetic instructions or exposure to heat or chemicals change the shape of a protein, causing it to unfold. It's like unfolding the paperclip so that it can't do its job anymore. Think about everything you've learned today about protein structure. What might happen to the function of a protein if it denatures or changes shape? Pause the video here to record your predictions. If a protein's shape changes, it may no longer fit the molecules it interacts with. When that happens, the protein often loses its ability to perform its job in the cell. This is why the exact folding of a protein is so important. And that folding depends on having the right amino acids in the right order, interacting and folding into the right shape for the job. DNA holds the instruction manual for putting amino acids in the right order, ensuring that the right polypeptide chains can fold into the right shapes for all of the cell's jobs. Proteins, the workers of the cell, are one of the major macromolecules in living organisms. They're built from amino acids which link together to form polypeptide chains. The sequence of amino acids is determined by DNA instructions. When the right amino acids are put in the right order, the bonds and reactions between these different building blocks cause them to fold into complex 3D shapes. And these final folded shapes determine the job of the protein. So how exactly do we get from the DNA instructions to the right chain of amino acids? In our next lesson, we'll dive into the process of protein synthesis, uncovering how the central dogma of biology makes cellular work possible. Until then, I'm Sydney. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.